project-based learning. In this session, we are going to discuss some of the MCQ related to project-based learning as an assessment tool. First question of this session is which approach in project-based learning emphasizes the integration of multiple subject area? Option: disciplinary approach, interdisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary approach, transdisciplinary approach. Answer of this question is option D, that is transdisciplinary approach. In project-based learning, what is the term for calculating event where students present their work? Option: project showcase, final examination, summative assessment, exhibition of learning. Answer of this question is option D, that is exhibition of learning. Which of the following is not a key element of authentic assessment in project-based learning? Option: real-world task, multiple choice test, performance-based evaluation, self-reflection. Answer of this question is option B, that is multiple choice question test. What is the primary purpose of a project chatter in educational project? Option: to list project resources, to define project scope and objectives, to assign student roles, to schedule project milestones. Answer of this question is option B, that is to define project scope and objectives. Which learning theory most closely aligns with the principle of project-based learning? Option: behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, connectivism. Answer of this question is option C, that is constructivism. What is the term for the process of students evaluating their own work in project-based learning? Option: peer assessment, self-assessment, teacher evaluation, external review. Answer of this question is option B, that is self-assessment. Which of the following is a key characteristics of ill-structured problems in problem-based learning? Option: single correct solution, clear problem statement, multiple solution paths, predefined step to solve. Answer of this question is option C, that is multiple solution paths. What does what role does metacognition play in project-based learning? Option: enhancing memorization skill, improving test taking strategies, promoting reflection on learning processes, increasing factual knowledge retention. Answer of this question is option C, that is promoting reflection on learning processes. Which assessment strategy is most aligned with the goals of project based learning? Option: standardized testing, portfolio assessment, pop up quizzes, true false questionnaires. Answer of this question is option B, that is portfolio assessment. What is the primary purpose of scaffolding in project based learning? Option: to build physical structure, to provide temporary support for learners, to create project timelines, to organize classroom furniture. Answer of this question is option B, that is to provide temporary support for learners. Which of the following is not typically a role of students in project based learning? Option: active participant, collaborator, passive recipient of information, problem solver. Answer of this question is option C, that is passive recipient of information. What is the term for gradual release of responsibility from teacher to student in project based learning? Option: cognitive apprenticeship, instructional scaffolding, guided participation, feeding support. Answer of this question is option A, that is cognitive apprenticeship. Which of the following best describes the concept of voice and choice in project based learning? Option: students selecting their own assessment criteria, teachers dictating project topics, student having input in project design and execution, administrator choosing curriculum content. Answer of this question is option C, that is students having input in project design and execution. What is the primary purpose of formative assessment in project-based learning? Option to assign final grades, to rank students against each other, to provide ongoing feedback for improvement, to determine course completion. Answer of this question is option C, that is to provide ongoing feedback for improvement. Which of the following is a key challenge in implementing cross-curricular project? Option increased student engagement, enhanced critical thinking, time and scheduling constraint, reducing workload for teachers. Answer of this question is option C, that is time and scheduling constraint. Next, what is the term for the process of critiquing each other's work in project based learning? Option peer review, self assessment, teacher evaluation, externals moderation. Answer of this question is option A, that is peer review. Which of the following is not a typical phase in the project based learning cycle? Option lecture, inquiry, lunch, presentation. Answer of this question is option A, that is lecture. What is the primary purpose of a project milestone in educational project? Option to mark the end of the project, to celebrate student achievement, to track progress and ensure timely completion, to assign grade to students. Answer of this question is option C, that is to track progress and ensure timely completion. Which of the following best describe the role of technology in modern project-based learning? Option A, replacement for traditional teaching methods, a tool to enhance collaboration and research, the primary focus of all projects, an optional extra for teach savvy students. Answer of this question is option B, that is a tool to enhance collaboration and research. What is the term for the skills that project based learning aims to develop, such as critical thinking, collaboration, and communication? Option core competencies, soft skill, 21st century skill, transferable skill. Answer of this question is option C, that is 21st century skill. What is the following is which of the following is not a typical characteristic of project based learning? Option student centered approach, teacher directed instruction, real world connection, collaborative learning. Answer of this question is option B, that is teacher directed instruction. What is the term for the initial phase of a project where students are introduced to the main idea or problem? Option brainstorming session, project launch, preliminary research, topic selection. Answer of this question is option B, that is project launch. Which assessment technique is most suitable for evaluating the process of project work? Option multiple choice question, observation checklist, end of project exam, standardized assessment. Answer of this question is option B, that is observation checklist. What is the primary purpose of a project timeline in educational projects? Option to list project resources, to assign roles to students, to manage time and track progress, to evaluate student performance. Answer of this question is option C, that is to manage time and track progress. Next, which learning approach is most closely associated with the concept of learning through reflection on doing. Option: rote learning, experiential learning, direct instruction, lecture based learning. Answer of this question is option B, that is experiential learning. What is the term for a project that span an entire academic year? Option: semester long project, extended project, annual project, longitudinal project. Answer of this question is option D, that is longitudinal project. Which of the following is not a typical role of a teacher in project based learning? Option: facilitator, guide, lecturer, coach. Answer of this question is option C, that is lecturer. What is the primary purpose of a project brief in educational setting? Option: to provide a detailed schedule, to outline project expectation and requirements, to list student grades, to assign classroom duties. Answer of this question is option B, that is to outline project expectation and requirements. Which of the following best describes the concept of authentic adherence in project based learning? Option: parent attending a school play, teachers grading assignments, a real world stakeholder reviewing student work, student presenting to their classmates. Answer of this question is option C, that is a real world stakeholder reviewing student work. What is the term for the process of gradual reviewing teachers support as students become more proficient? Option: scaffolding, feeding, coaching, mentoring. Answer of this question is option B, that is feeding. Which of the following is not a typical benefit of interdisciplinary projects? Option: enhanced critical thinking, improved subject specialization, real world problem solving skill, holistic understanding of concept. Answer of this question is option B, that is improved subject specialization. Which is what is the primary purpose of a project journal in educational setting? Option: to record attendance, to document the project process and reflection, to list project material, to grade student performance. Answer of this question is option B, that is to document the project process and reflection. Which of the following best describes the concept of need to know in project based learning? Option: information that will be on the final exam, fact that student must memorize, essential question that drive the project inquiry, data provided by the teacher. Answer of this question is option C, that is essential question that drive the project inquiry. What is the term for a brief, intensive project that typically lasts only a few days? Option: mini project, sprint project, rapid project, short term project. Answer of this question is option B, that is sprint project. Which of the following is not a typical characteristic of a well designed project rubric? Option: clear performance criteria, level of quality for each criteria, emphasis on memorization, descriptor for each level of performance. Answer of this question is option C, that is emphasis on memorization. What is the primary purpose of a project proposal in educational setting? Option: to assign grades to students, to outline the project plan and gain approval, to list classroom rules, to schedule parent teacher meeting. Answer of this question is option B, that is to outline the project plan and gain approval. Which of the following best describes the concept of backward design in project planning? Option st- starting with the desired outcomes and working background, revising the order of project stages, planning the project conclusions first, assigning tasks in a reverse chronological order. Answer of this question is option A, that is starting with the desired outcomes and working backwards. Next, what is the term for the process of students teaching and learning from each other in project-based learning? Option teacher instruction, self-directed learning, peer tutoring, expert consultation. Answer of this question is option C, that is peer tutoring. Which of the following is not a typical phase in design thinking, often in project based learning? Option empathetic, define, memorize, prototype. Answer of this question is option C, that is memorize. What is the primary purpose of a project charter in educational setting? Option to list student grade, to define project scope, objectives, and stakeholder, to assign classroom duties, to schedule parent-teacher conferences. Answer of this question is option B, that is to define project work scope, objectives, and stakeholder. Which of the following best describe the concept of productive failure in project-based learning? Option students intentionally sabotaging project, teachers purposely creating obstacle, learning from mistake and unsuccessful attempt, failing to complete project on time. Answer of this question is option C, that is learning from mistake and unsuccessful attempt. What is the term for a project have involves collaboration between students from different school and contexts? Option international project, collaborative project, global project, cross institutional project. Answer of this question is option C, that is global project. Which of the following is not a typical characteristic of problem based learning? Option illustrated, ill structured problem, self directed learning, teacher centered approach, collaborative problem solving. Answer of this question is option C, that is teacher centered approach. Next, what is the primary purpose of a project retrospective in educational settings? Option to assign final grades, to reflect on the project process and outcomes, to plan the next project, to evaluate teacher performance. Answer of this question is option B, that is to reflect on project process and outcomes. What is the following best describe the concept of just in time learning in project based education? Option learning content exactly when it's need for project, scheduling classes at convenient times, providing last minute instruction before exams, offering remedial classes after school. Answer of this question is option A, that is learning content exactly when it needed for the project. What is the term project that focus on solving community issue? Option civic project, social project, service learning project, community outreach. Answer of this outreach. Answer of this question is option C, that is service learning project. Which of the following is not a typical benefit of using digital tool in project-based learning? Option enhance collaboration, improve research capabilities, reduce need for critical thinking, easier data visualization. Answer of this question is option C, that is reduce need for critical thinking. What is the primary purpose of a project mentor in educational setting? Option: to grade student work, to provide expert guidance and support, to manage project logistics, to teach regular classes. Answer of this question is option B, that is to provide expert guidance and support. Which of the following best describes the concept of student agency in project based learning? Which of the following best describe the concept of student agency in project based learning? Option: student acting as secret agent, teachers controlling all aspects of learning, student taking ownership of their learning, school administrator making all decisions. Answer of this question is option C, that is student taking ownership of their learning. What is the term for the project that integrate art with other subject area? Option: creative project, art integrated project, multidisciplinary project, aesthetic project. Answer of this question is option B, that is art integrated project. Which of the following is not a typical characteristic of project based assessment? Option: performance based task, multiple choice test, authentic test, ongoing feedback. Answer of this question is option B, that is multiple choice test.